guys, I'm not sure what you all want today. Let me just say. Let me just see. Why does this kind of thing come out like this? All right, never mind. Today, we're going to learn two key concepts. Key concepts, which is important. Important because if you recall in the first class, we also talked about the approach that we take to studying something. So some of you are looking at, oh, sir, in chapter 4, there is no notes there, sir. In chapter 5, there are 20 notes. Yes or not? You notice or not? Yes, that's right. Because remember, what did I say at the start? We don't take an effective approach. We take an effectual approach. And because you asked me that question, it means that I have to elaborate. Bermakna you tak cukup faham lah that thing. I will now show you, explain to you. But don't worry, if you don't understand, it's not your fault. It's mine. It's mine. It's mine. I'm used to it. I always admit my mistakes. You know, I am married, you know. So let's carry on. Zila, how are you?
Fine, Dr. Prof.
Yeah,
Fine.
so nice
I'm
to
fine.
see you. Nice to see you. Antonio, Kirsten, how are you? Aronisa,
Hi, Prof.
Zul.
Hi, Prof.
So wonderful, this class. Because every time
Hi,
you all
Prof.
learn very fast, you know. I notice when something funny, you all laugh. When it's not funny, you laugh even louder. Very smart. You all will go far in life, and definitely you'll go far in this class. I guess you guys are fast learners lah. Okay, where is let me look for that. Hey, hold on. I gotta look for the hold on. I gotta look for the strange but true. I'm not sure why. Okay, got it. Okay, got it. Now where's my Zoom? Now start my screen. I just want to share one first thing first with you. Secepat mungkin. Where is it? My Zoom screen is appearing in one place and my slides are appearing in another. I'll try to open my slides in the background, see whether I can share it that way. Ah, there you go. There you go. Can you all see the screen?
Yes, Prof.
Yes,
Clearly, Prof.
Yes, Prof.
Clear, Prof.
Thank
Effective
you.
versus effectual.
That's right. Today, Solehan, if you just learn one thing, if you understand this, that's it. You will be in the top 3% of Malaysians. Top 3%, Solehan, just imagine. And I'm going to make that happen for you within the next, let me check. Yes, 3 minutes. 3 minutes and you will be in the top 3%. So exciting. Is it not exciting? Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, you are at the right place. If you want to go and, reach that pinnacle, right? So this idea of effective versus effectual, and note, not in any textbook. Not in any textbook. It'd be so interesting if I was able to teach you all some other subjects as well, like entrepreneurship and a few other subjects. I've created some of my own instruments, super exciting, super exciting. It's so interesting because I won't tell you about it now. I hope you will join me in some other class. Of course, in some classes, I repeat the same thing now because I can't remember what I told you. So. Okay, you only need to understand one concept. The concept of effective versus effectual. All right. I'm going to teach that to you because some of you are asking the question, hey, how come in week 3 there's some no notes and this and that? I told you every time you come into my class, whatever I'm sharing with you has got to do with the assignment for sure, right? Because my goal is the assignment because I'm taking an effectual approach. Let me explain. Now, what does effective mean? These 2 words, right? 2 words. So effective means to effective or efficiently supply something, right? Manage your resources. It's basically an inside-out approach, guys. If some of you remember, it is the Japanese style those days, Toyota and all, when they make the cars, right? Now, you notice they run the factory. Every machine will have a line, yellow line, red line. Yellow line means you store your goods. Blue line means work in progress. They have all these systems, right? Some of you may have even gone and studied all these funny things called black belt. Black belt. So then you got study black belt. Black belt in what? Quality control. Have you ever come across
Six
that?
Sigma, Prof, is Six Sigma black belt.
Lean Six Sigma.
Yeah. Lean
Six-
Six Sigma, got yellow belt, got green belt, got black belt.
No.
What's the blackbird at champion?
You know, I know, and I find it so funny. I don't know. I mean, I'm very bad, of course. Some of you may be leaders of those groups, and you'll be upset with me if I'm laughing. But Surin, I'm very sad to tell you that I have not studied any of those things. I have not. I don't know why, but I always found it very funny, but it doesn't matter. If you've studied it, good, right? For those of you who have studied the black belt, yellow belt, I will allow you to wear those things next week when you come for class. Okay. Of course, as you know, Khalifa is saying, sir, if they wear it, we can't see it. No, I allow you to wear it around your head. All right. So that, I mean, hello, Zul. The orang dah baca, they have learned this and you don't want to respect it. What lah? Let them wear. Not only that, no, got many others, many all these, especially in TQM and all that, banyak, a lot. So the point is that approach is what is known as the inside-out approach. That means you make everything efficient so that you can produce, right? So you find that if you historically, in terms of the history of industrialization, at the early stages, a lot of times in the 50s, 60s, even you read in some textbook, they will talk about this thing where they say people produce. They just keep on producing as efficiently as possible, and the demand is there. For example, a factory that was making nails, they keep on making nails as much as possible, running it as much as possible. The demand is there. So very production oriented. So some of you are thinking, oh no, this is from a long time ago. No. As early as 2007, when I was working in APP, it was a pulp and paper manufacturing plant. It's huge. And they produced the paper 365 days a week. The machine never stops. The machine never stops. It's huge. The machine is huge. If you go to USJ in Taipan, you see one row of shop houses, or the whole row, one main row. The machine is that big. The machine is that big. It's huge. If you've never been to this sort of plant, and maybe some of you can back me up here if you've been there, the plant is so large, you have to ride a motorbike or bicycle in the plant. You cannot walk. It's so far, so far away. And so that was quite an experience. So my advantage is that I did a lot of sales and marketing, and at one time I was a sales and marketing manager in the company, and then I learned a lot about production there. Really, really exciting. And most of it was run by Koreans, and the Koreans are so hardworking, and they take so much pride in their work. That's something I learned as well. The attitude. So anyway, so even then, even now, they produce non-stop. But don't forget, paper is now a commodity, right? So you're probably wondering, hey, how come they produce non-stop when the paper price is fluctuating? One would imagine that if the paper price is going up, we should produce more. If the paper price is going down, we should produce less. Isn't that logical? Koshala, what do you think?
Yes, Prof, that's logic. Yeah.
It's logical, isn't it? You learn economics, you learn manufacturing. It doesn't work that way. The real
Supply and
life,
demand.
supply and demand, right, Shahrukh, correct. Supply and demand. But that's what you learn in textbook. That is why when you get employed, you are useless. Some people say, because why useless? Because you went to university. Because in reality, when you're running the business, it's about the money and the cash flow. You know why they run 365? They cannot stop no matter what's happening in the market, because the cost of the machine is close to $1 billion. The cost of the machine, it's very expensive. So they have to amortize. No matter what, even if they make $1 per ton begin. You know, even they make
That's
$1 US per metric ton, they produce, man. They produce because you don't run the machine, you're dead in the water. The interest alone will kill you. Tan, you know that. You all should know.
yeah. The payback period,
Yeah, it's no joke. The amortization is crazy. So under certain circumstances, the logic of supply and demand and economic doesn't work. There's a different logic. It's the flow of money, the cost of money, the flow of money, the cost of borrowing, payback period, all those things come into play, you know.
ROI.
Yeah. So a lot of those things. And we had a CEO from India who was running the whole show. His name was Suresh Kilam. Crazy guy. He was a crazy guy. He was a very amazing guy, very hardworking. And unlike y'all, he go to sleep at 10 o'clock. He go to sleep at 10 o'clock. And then in the morning at 5:50, 6 o'clock, he goes for a run with the boss of the company, the owner, Patiji. Remember I told you about TG? Teguh Vijaya. You all go and work. You all go to work at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, also complain. Must come so early, what this, that. That job, his body and soul belongs to the company. He wake up morning, he run with the boss. They go for a job. That's the day starts. That is why he must go to sleep at 10 o'clock. So even when we have dinner with him, no matter what's going on, the minute 10 o'clock comes, he goes. He goes because he has to be up in the morning, right? It's because it's important because he's running almost 55 offices across the world. It's a US $7 billion business. You never take your eyes off the ball, as they say. Interesting, Tan. Very interesting, I tell you. Because you see the commitment that these people have, then you realize that maybe I'm not working that hard. Yeah, it's true. So, Surin, if ever your boss, or Zul, your boss asks you to come in early, your boss say, Zul, I want you to come in at 7 a.m. in the morning.
I come at 6:30.
That's right, 6:30. What? You come in at 5:30. Then you will ask the boss. No, you ask the boss, why so late? Zul, mesti you kena naik gaji.
You should tell my boss.
Why you come so? I tell you guys, that's a trick. Surin, all of you, Dalila, all of you, Hazila, you try it lah. One day your boss say, hey, next week I want to come early at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock, boss. Why aren't we here at 6:30? Why aren't we here ready to go at 6:30? I cannot understand this, boss. Azila, all the boss will love you, and all your friends, they will kill you. Your colleagues will kill you. Okay, never mind. Please don't go off topic. Stay focused. What does effectual mean? What does effective mean? Inside out, right? So that means you're considering everything from the inside out, how it should be organized, right? And effectual, guys, it's the opposite, right? Effectual means outside in. Remember I told you, it is to customize customer demand before production, for example, right? Essentially, that's just an example, but essentially it is looking at things from the outside in. So remember at the start of the class, we took an effectual approach. What do? We look at the question first. Remember or not? We read the question first. So some students say, how come we read the question? We don't understand we don't know how to spell strategic management. Yeah, but that's not the way. You must read the question first. Why? Because we don't have 1 year for this course. We only have 6 weeks. And now with Raya, which means we have 5 weeks. Right? Your balik kampung, which means we have 4 weeks. Khalifa, betul tak? She want to Raya. And then she got to help her mother make ketupat, because I gave her the example of, happiness and everything. So she's going to help the parents, this and that. All of that takes time. And who am I to stand in the way? My job is to get you guys ready. And I can see in your eyes that, that focus that you all have is just no joke. So So effectual. And you find that this term you can use in your assignment as well. You must tell the CEO, Khalifa, tell the CEO, we need to take an effectual approach. What is the goal of the organization? Where does it want to go? Yes or not? You can put those questions down. I'm not kidding you. In your assignment, you put the question, you ask the CEO, no? Surely you must ask him, where do you want to go? Make sure it's clear. Make sure it's unambiguous. It's clear where we want to go. And then we work backwards. All right. I give you an example that consultants use and that we used as well, right? When we were consultants at one point. But it's very useful. So let's say now Kirsten comes to me. She's running this company. She says, we are a $5 million company. Kirsten says, I want to become a $50 million company. Right? How do I get there? She's asking me, but you know something? Actually, I don't understand Kirsten's business that much. Cannot, because Kirsten has been in the business for many years. It is her father's business, her father's father's business. She's been there since she was very young. She knows much more than me, isn't it? So what must I do? I must help her, help her to help me to help her. Dan, Dan, this is Dan. You don't laugh, Dan, because this is dead serious. Okay, yeah, I'm going to teach you something. Okay, so what we do? So I tell Kirsten, you are 5 million. You want to become 50 million. In what time do you want to become this? Kirsten says in 10 years. 10 years, she wants to become a $50 million company. That's fair, no problem. Right? After I negotiate my fees with her and everything, collect the deposit, everything. Okay, Kirsten, here's what you do. You and your team, your senior leadership team, come together. 6 of them. So I said, look, you guys want to become a $50 million company, right? No problem. Now I want you to imagine. Imagine today, right now, you are a $50 million company, right? For all intents and purposes, you're already there. You're already there. And on the board, I move backwards 9, 10, maybe I put 8, 6, 4, 2, 1, 0, whatever. So I said, you are now at the 10th year, you've already become a $50 million company. Now just imagine what's happening now that you're a $50 million company. So Kirsten says, oh, if we are already at $50 million, we'll have this, we'll have that, we'll have that. Oh, you already have all that? Good. Now move back 2 years. What were you doing 2 years before you were able to achieve that? 2 years before that 10th year. So now she's imagining, she said, oh, because we have all this, now we put certain things in place. Now, and then what I will do is I'll take her back 6 years, 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, and to the start, to today. Isn't it? So now what's happened? Kirsten has considered how she got there, but then we worked backwards. That backwards point that she's given is the way forward. You understand? Does that make sense to you? Bharat, what do you think?
Very good money making business.
You guys, you see, I knew, Kirsten, I knew they was coming, these guys all are jealous, you all are, just because consultant doesn't mean the word start with con, doesn't mean it's like, I already told you, Kirsten knows more than me. I just come in as a consultant. I can never match her. And you all don't laugh. Farhan, all you Kugan fellas all don't laugh. You know why? Because you're the consultant now for the CEO. You better listen because you got nothing to write if not. So remember all those things I told you, communication, right? Effectual is one of those things that you can say. Look at where you want to go, work backwards. What do you need to change now to get to that stage? This is something you can recommend. You don't even have to come up with a fixed solution, but you can give a method for the CEO to act. Then at the end, your conclusion is to the CEO, you must take an effectual approach. Don't take this planning, or you sit down there with your core team lah. Do what you call it as a business plan. There's a what? Some famous business plan, whatever nonsense that one you do looking at now, and then you build. No. Take the effectual approach. Okay. So I won't go into details as to who came up with this effectual. Effectual is the lady's name. I forgot the name. If you go to Kellogg School, yeah. So this lady who came up with this idea. See, the ladies always have good ideas. Okay. I want you guys to all listen carefully. Bharat,
Yes, doctor.
this idea is not mine. I'm very sorry. I wish it was, but it's not. I'm merely repeating an idea for this professor from the Kellogg School. When I remember the name, I'll let you know. I don't want to give you her paper and all that to read, because journal paper is all written in French. So it's a bit hard to understand. Okay, so which is better? Which is better? This is a good question, isn't it? It's a good question. Which is better? It depends on the context, right? If supply is insufficient, then increased efficient production becomes relevant. If supply is abundant, then customizing to meet individual customer demands makes sense to improve your competitiveness. Okay, yeah. So does not mean that effective is not good. Does not mean that effectual is better. It's not really that. It depends on the context and how you use it. So you find that just now, in give you an example of APP, they use a very effective method, right, to run everything efficiently and to try to leverage on high output. But in other circumstances, it depends, right? When we are studying, for example, and when we don't have enough time, we take an effectual approach. I mean, we look at the assignment and we see how to answer. So students like you can start answering immediately after class, for example. Right? So we take that method. But if we had 1 year, we take an efficient. We can start with chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. All right. And then Koshala, you'll finish the MBA when you're after about 7, 8 years. It's okay maybe 12 12 years ago, every subject 1 year. And I don't think you want to do that. It's not fun. Okay. So what is the current strategy applied by the company you are assessing? What would you recommend? Why? Right. This is the question. Right. You got to look at them. Chances are they're operating the inside-out approach. You can recommend the other way. If they are applying the other way, you can recommend inside-out approach. Again, I mean, certain departments you go for efficiency. Certain departments you go for a more effectual approach. Right, looking at the goals and so on. Okay, so does that make sense to everybody? I mean, it's not too difficult. I've made it as simple as possible. Does everybody understand? Surin, are you okay? Shop, are you okay?
Yeah, understand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't forget, understanding is one thing. Please apply. You listen to me, it's no use. You write it in your assignment, write it down. Okay. I want to see the word. I don't see the word, you're going to get in trouble for sure. You read my comments. Miss Surin, was such a lovely assignment, and your writing and font was so beautiful. But unfortunately, okay, that's it. That's it. One thing already you learned. Already you're smarter. Already you're smart. Okay. Now let me see what else. There's one more thing I need to do with you. What is? Okay, this other word that I want to teach you. I want you to. I won't say teach you. Because you all are so smart. I share with you. Let me see. Where is it? Anyone who came to learn something, I pity them. Because learning is not allowed. What is this? E-commerce and e-business strategy. A key word I want to share with you guys. This one all you can read. I think it's all in your notes somewhere. These are old notes. It's not even. This is the one I want to work with you guys. The word disintermediation. Have you heard this word before?
This is new, sir.
Who said new?
Haven't, Prof.
Orang tengah.
Why? Yeah. I told you at the start of the class, if you remember, I will use big words that you have never heard of before. So that, why? so that you think that I am smart and your money is worth paying. Ayo, Akila,
Consultant.
teruk. I know lah,
Consult-
Akila, teruk lah, very bad lah. What to do lah, Akila?
Intermediaries is like agency and bank. Bank is actually intermediaries.
Hmm. Please don't. Are you calling a bank bloodsuckers? Don't say like that lah.
The bank is the bigger con than the consultant.
I didn't say that. Zul Raimi, I didn't say that. Watch me. I put my hands up. I have not criticized anybody and any institution. You are my mind. After they cancel your loan, baru you tahu.
But actually, bank is an intermediary. Bank connect between people who has money and people who needs money.
That's true. That's true. You know, I tell you, when I was young, never give me a loan. Very hard, you know. Very hard to see them, very hard. Tan, this is true, Tan. Now, calling me up all the time, and I'm sure some of you as well, because you all look like you're well-to-do lah. But, you know, and I don't even look like I'm well-to-do. Still, they call me up. You know, Surin, they want to give me a loan. They want to give me a loan. The girl will call me, and then, and the worst part, they call me at 3 o'clock. That's when I'm about to fall asleep, you know. So give me a loan. Tan, bagi loan, 80,000. Sir, we'll give you $80,000 loan and we will charge you what? 8%, 8.5% or something. 8.5% we'll give you on the phone. We will approve it for you. Why? Because we like your voice. That's what they said. So, Koshala, I already knew that. It was a bit upsetting. I needed to snooze because I'm a sleepaholic. Do you know I sleep many hours? I think 8 or 10 hours.
Prof, I always
Anyway.
get this, but the moment they say loan, then I say, okay, I've heard it before. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yo, Kushala, don't be like that lah. Poor thing. People are trying to earn a living. So mean. That's not the right way. This is very bad.
But
You
it's
mustn't
getting too frequent. Like every 2 days they call me from different number. Like the moment I block the first number, they call me
It's
again from
not
the
their
second.
fault. It's not their fault. It's your fault because your credit worthiness is very high. So it's your fault.
Especially a credit card center, from credit card center, they want to give us credit card.
Oh no, that's because they're so happy that you always pay late. That is why they're looking for you. They didn't look for me. You know. See, they look for Koshala every 2 days. Me, they look every 2 weeks once. See, Koshala's bank account balance is much better. So anyway, listen, coming back to the point. My point is this. So she wants to loan me 80,000, done. 80,000. She wants to charge me 8%. She said, and we can approve. So I told her, look, dear, it's like this. I tell you what, all right? Very kind of you. But let me suggest this. You want to lend me 80,000 at 8%. I tell you what, because you're a bank, I trust you. I lend you 80,000 at 6%. You go and tell your boss. I lend you 80,000 at 6% because you're a bank. I trust you also. You go and tell your boss. Then the girl don't know what to say. Poor thing. But I'm not like Koshala. Koshala told her, go away. I didn't. I just give her an alternative. I give her an opportunity to think. Hazila, betul tak? It's okay, what? I mean, you want to lend me 80,000 at 8%.
Yeah, positive eh.
I lend you lah. I give you 6% lagi. I take that chance because you're a big bank. It's okay. In fact, for 5% I give you. So I know the return is sure one. Yes or not? So anyway, somebody hijacked my thoughts just now. I was talking about disintermediation. Disintermediation here refers to usual situation, guys. It's a very important word to know now, because you can see what's happening around you. The middleman is going. Disintermediation is where you remove whatever is in the middle. Now, if you look at the charta here, manufacturer, wholesaler, retailer, consumer, right? Then you've got manufacturer, no more wholesaler, no more retailer, straight consumer. Isn't that the case now? Where do you find this happening? You find The manufacturer in China is selling on Shopee, no? He's selling on Shopee.
Yes, online
And
platform.
at the most,
Yes,
deliver maybe 2 weeks later for you, right? If you order locally, maybe the guy sends you 4 or 5 days. That is if he remembers to send you.
And
From
also
China.
tailored services, Prof. Right now, like I bought my insurance online, direct, without middleman. So it's a direct pricing. So there is no more through an agent and everything like that. So they cut down all the middle person also.
You see, I never bluff you. Even Farhan backed me up. Farhan also said the same thing. Do you know I can order specific lights and specially customized lights with special wording, with special sizing, everything from China, you know. They can liaise with me and make the things, show me model, show me video because of technology. They'll make it for me, you know, and they'll send it. In Kappa Clang, they can make for me as well. It takes maybe about, I don't know, 3 weeks. These guys will take about 4 weeks, very fast. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. So what I'm saying is, the point is, this word is what you need to know. The word it's called disintermediation, right? So you find that a lot of the business models nowadays are like that, and then you have got two words. Disintermediation is one, and another word called reintermediation, where we reintroduce something, right? So you got a manufacturer, electronic intermediaries, and the consumer, right? So what I'm saying is, you're going to have to think and see how the airline should function, isn't it? You already can think about it, isn't it? You all are doing the airlines. You already know. Maybe the airline should sell the tickets direct to the consumer. Maybe. Or maybe the airlines, in order to be more effective, should actually sell through an intermediary. Maybe. Right? What I'm saying is, you can suggest, because you go online and you check lah, right? So because there are many what is known as aggregators. Aggregators are those organizations that bring together things so that you can compare. So Shopee is one aggregator. It brings the supplier and it brings the consumer. It's got a platform on which you trade and a good working platform, right now. So the big headache always is Khalifa received something, she said, oh, this one broken or cannot function. So they must find a way to solve. That one is the difficult part. So that one is already very difficult. But for airlines, it's just ticketing what? It's just digital, everything is digitalized, tickets are digitalized, everything is done, isn't it? So why can't airlines think about that? What way are they using now? Or should they change that way? One is, should they change? That means if there's an intermediary, should they lose it? And disintermediation, right? Or should they do something different? You can suggest something to consider, isn't it?
Sir, means that one we should put inside the part 3, is it? The recommendation part, or we can relate it into our part 2 as well.
You can when you're analyzing it, you can put it in your first assignment, part 1 or part 2 I think it's in part, I'm not sure which one, but you can talk about it in there as well. But then in the recommendation, you can recommend, because here you discussed it in part 1 and part 2, you discussed it. Then in part 3 is the recommendation, right? Is where you do the actual recommendation. So in the first part, external or internal analysis, you are observing, you are looking, you say, hey, right now this airline uses intermediaries to sell their tickets. But the problem here is, you might say you give an intermediary to sell, but the problem is the intermediary is also selling other people's tickets. Yes or not? It's also selling other people's ticket. That means it doesn't focus only on you. So maybe sometimes when your price is a little bit higher, then they put you at the back. They just put whoever's price is cheapest in front because they want to sell the ticket because they get a commission, right? And you find that a lot of apps that sells hotels, for example. What's the app? Very famous one.
Agoda.
Booking.com.
Agoda is
Booking,
one.
Agoda.
Booking.com.
And
Booking.com.
travel
You,
of course,
you, if you have used booking, if you use booking.com, at first I was very happy with it, and I was getting some points, this and that. But after a while, when I was looking for a particular place, I noticed they kept promoting something else. And for some reason, they weren't promoting that one. I don't know why. So as a consumer, I'm not happy, because it's obvious that they are picking and choosing what they actually promote. Yeah, initially they give you a discount, but after that they try to promote the hotel that they want to promote, not the hotel that is maybe the best for you. So what I'm saying is, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying that maybe the airline suffers from this as well, right? Whoever is representing them in the ticketing, in the marketing side, that's very important, isn't it? Are they really 100% for you? Or are they just an independent contractor who's going to just sell whatever that suits them, as long as they can sell something, right? So this is something. Maybe if they are doing that now, you can suggest that maybe they should have their own dedicated team. And today, you don't need to have hundreds of people. You just need the right technology, isn't it, to connect out there, right? Maybe you need to also look at how one of the key things that AirAsia used to do was let you pick your things, choose whether you want a better seat, whether you want food, whether you want drink, whether you want to sit down or stand up. He let you choose. You pay less. Somebody was, I think my wife wanted to travel to the Mata. Recently there was a Mata fair, right? Do you know, in my life, I've never attended a Mata fair. I don't know what the hell it's all about, but it's a travel thing. She said travel thing. So she wanted to book a flight. They said the flight was 2,600 for 2 person. Oh, very cheap, I won't tell you where. I cannot tell you where. But anyway, it's supposed to be 2006 on the Mata. But when she actually go in and check and start to make arrangement, the fare come up to 5,000 something, 5,600. So
There's a problem with intermediary, Prof. Sometimes when you have intermediary, they give you a false sense of choice. Like Booking and Agoda, they're actually the same company. They think you are making a choice from one or the other. There's also problems if you use intermediaries.
Yeah, so as a result, my wife was sad, but not as sad as me, because now she will stay here for longer. So maybe she goes. Zul Raimi is laughing. Very bad, Zul. Can't you see the sadness on my face? I was hoping she goes along. Okay, shit. Very bad, y'all. I tell y'all, Zul is a bad influence on me. Anyway, guys, let's stick to the topic and not send anyone away. I hope my walls are thin now. I mean, thick, not thin. Okay, so you understand now. Use this word, lah. Use this word. It make you look like a professor. Yeah, this is your chance. And then, Surin, when you go to Starbucks, you sit with your friend, right? Then they talk about this and that, about problem, this and that. You see, the reason is because of the, this all caused by the disintermediation now. So we don't get that kind of service anymore because of disintermediation.
I tried my boss first, Prof. Maybe I can get some more increment.
Yeah. Now you're learning. You see, this is where you use it. To get a grade in my class is no issue. Get a pay increment and to look good with your boss. That, my dear, that one is value. Good value. Good value. Okay, anyway, that's it. That's the thing on this one. Oh, so please don't forget, try and use the word, Guys, I told you earlier at many of the classes, MBA is about application. Don't send me a textbook. Don't send me. Students will write to me and say, Porter, and then they start explaining all about Porter. No need. You can assume that I know what Porter is about. Just assume. Never mind. Okay. Tell me how Porter applies. That I want to listen to. Okay. So many things you got many things you got purple cow, you got all these things all of these are real gems that you can apply in your this thing. Okay, now now that we're good with that, let's see what else I have. I only have these few things with you that I wanted to discuss. Rest of it is, yeah, I was going to show you a video about why airlines are cheap. I don't know whether I can do it or not. Let me try. My only concern is if I play it, I don't know if the sound's going to come up. Can you see it, guys?
Can,
Yes,
Prof.
can see.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm gonna play it. Let me know if you can hear it, because when we were using Google Meet, you can't hear. This is about how budget airlines work and how they are kind of cheap like that. So give you a bit of a background on that one. Just take a look. See, hold on, I'll just play it for you. Can you hear, guys?
No, no.
No sound.
No,
Yes.
no sound.
Oh, no sound. That's
Maybe you
oh,
can
no.
just drop us the link.
No.
We can watch
No
it.
audio.
Yeah. I just drop you the link lah. I put some new. That's a good idea. But do when I put this up, please guys do try and take a look. See, because I think I put up another one as well that talks about the importance of data and how data is changing the way we work. And then there's another one as a guy who works with I think some European airline, and he talks about the future of airlines. Then there's another one talks about what is this, how budget airlines work. Another one talks about why they are so cheap. What is their business model? There is nothing, no big secret, but it's a kind of interesting thing. If you watch it, it gives you an idea and start to think about how the airline that you are dealing with, have they addressed all these issues? Is there some way that they can find to reduce their costs? Right. So these are some of the recommendations later on that you can consider as well. All right. So I think rightly I put it in the link because one or two of those are about at least a good 20 minutes. So I didn't want to play that one. Let me see if there's anything else I need to share with you. I think those are the key things. The other one, there's one more area that I'll be doing next week. I think that's about it. Strategic alignment and everything we'll do next week is not so important for this week. This week, those are the key things that you need to be able to you need to appreciate in order for you to write your assignment, your disintermediation, re-intermediation. You want to talk about effective, effectual, and the rest of it. If you are willing to look at the videos that I put up, I've already put up some points onto your modules, if you've seen, for the third week, I think. This is the third week? Third week, right?
Fourth, right? I think. Fourth.
Fourth class.
So, okay, that's about it. So that's about it, guys. We don't need much. We just need these few key things, and whatever we've learned earlier, the important thing is for you to write and to apply it. The rest is Potter 5 forces and all the rest is very standard stuff that you can read and all that. Now, before you go, one last thing is the issue of appendices. Students by right at this level should already know what appendices are, but maybe there was a gap in your knowledge. So essentially, if you're writing the body of the paper, for example, if you're writing your answer, essentially, you would start off with the introduction, which is you talk a little bit about the airline that you're choosing or whatever you're mentioning. Then you go to part one, which is your industry analysis. Okay. Then you discuss everything in part one. And how do you discuss? Based on the questions I posed to you already, because your answers to those questions are actually the answer to part one. Right. And when you're doing part one, maybe you're discussing the external analysis, Potter's 5 forces. You can mention Potter's 5 forces and apply it to the airline that you're talking about. But the idea of Potter's 5 forces and application, if you want to discuss it even in greater detail, and you find that it will affect your word count, the unessential bits you can take and put into your, for example, a diagram and the explanation, further explanation, you can put it into your appendices. Where does your appendices come in? So you've got introduction, part one, part two. Then you have your conclusion, right? A conclusion to both part one and part two. You just conclude something, and then you got references, and then you got appendices. Appendices at the end, right? So the way appendices work is like this, right? It's a method. I would call it a judgment call. So if I read your whole assignment, that means I read your introduction, part one, part two, conclusion. I don't have to read your appendices to know what your answer is. if only something further that you're elaborating, especially in part one, when you talk about the airline, even in your introduction, when you're discussing your airline, there might be some information about the airline, right? Not from certain web pages that you have taken, or something else that you want to discuss extra on the airline. You put it in the appendix, and the appendix also you put appendix under appendices. Below that is appendix 1, appendix 2, appendix 3, right? A good example is the appendix in your own body. All of us have an appendix in your body. What function does the appendix?
No function.
No function, exactly. Who said that? There's a doctor in the house. You're right, no function, but it's there. So
It can kill you at any time.
yeah. So the appendices is there, but it's not necessarily that I have to read it. But because if we are doing an academic exercise, I will read it just to make sure that you know what you're doing. It's a matter of judgment call. So the important thing is in your body of your answer. Yang sangat penting is in the body of your answer. Yang selebihnya, you're putting in your appendices. That's all. Okay. So if you write your answer like that, it's fine. Introduction, part 1, part 2, conclusion. Always, guys, have a conclusion. Sangat penting. Conclusion, maybe in the last conclusion, maybe under part 1, you can have a conclusion. Part 2, you can have a conclusion. And then you can, below all of that, you can have another main conclusion to conclude everything else, maybe. You can put it that way as well, right? But if you are doing a gambar raja that is, let's say, a chart about some growth of the company or some historical data that you think is important, then you put it in the body of your answer again, because that one is important that I should be looking at. So the same way it works.
Prof, can we also include recommendation for the airline?
Right. Surin, what do you think? Can he include recommendation for the airline?
I think that's on part.
Lots of questions.
Side, I'm not asking you. This side, I got no other work, I never asked him, asking Surin. Never give. I told you at the start of the class, Solehan, I told us that equal voice. Always his voice only. Dia suka dengar.
My apologies. My apologies. I retract my words.
What apology? No. After Raya, you better buy us dinner. Okay, never mind. Surin, tell us.
Yep. Your question, boss. Sorry, Prof. That's the answer to question the third assignment where we have to give a recommendation to the
Good.
airlines.
Does that answer your question?
Prof, I have one question. In the part 2, there is a question that we need to show the financial performance, whether the strategies work or not. For some airlines that I chose, seems that I am unable to find the financial statement that for me to compare. So is it enough if we, is it fine if I use the news release?
Absolutely. Akila, I was just going to say that absolutely. It's a very good question, because sometimes you can't get, we're just relying on secondary data anyway, right? I don't want you to have to have the internal, information. And even if you work there, you should not be using the internal information. I mean, it's private lah, so you're absolutely right. You can take from newspaper cuttings. Somebody who's talked about the Edge newspaper, for example, always talk about the business data, progress of a company, share price changes, something like that. You can use all of that. That's fine. Yeah, absolutely. So if you do that, the other thing is under references, make sure you are referring using the APA method, preferably, and cite everybody accordingly. So if you put a citation there, you must use it in your reference. Don't use a biblio. A biblio and reference are two different things. Students forget. A reference is referring to citations that you use in the body of your paper, you put in your reference. That's references. Biblio means even though you have not used the citation, you will still put it in because you happen to have read the journal or book or whatever. So you put everything in the biblio. Not useful, right, for our purpose, right? So don't use biblio, use references. That means whatever you are actually citing, you put down there. And try and cite, get into the habit of citing. It's very useful for you, after you want to do your project paper and so on. Yeah. So I think that's about all. That's about all that needs to be said on that. Any other questions in case I missed something?
Prof, yeah, I have one question.
Regarding the assignment, yes, I think after your last Saturday and today class, give me some idea for me. So I'm planning to amend the assignment again. Is that possible to I attempt? Yeah, because I got some idea. So is that okay? Because I noticed in the system there
No,
is more than one attempt.
Kogila,
Some
Kogila,
yes.
you think you're in trouble? You're not. Somebody else applied, submitted
Oh,
both. I think
oh,
2 weeks
sorry,
ago.
sorry.
No, what I'm saying is, if you
Uh-huh.
think you're in trouble, the other people were in deeper trouble than you because somebody.
No, not a trouble. What my question is that I can send the assignment again because I noticed there is a atom 1, atom 2, so I'm scared when
Can. This is like tikam lah, tikam. Solehan, you know tikam.
okay.
Boleh cuba, bro.
Because what I'm worried about when you would want to mark up, I'm not sure whether you will choose the which one, so that's why I'm wondering.
No, Kogila, when you submit,
Yes, yes.
don't submit everything the same lah. Kogila,
Uh-huh.
assignment. Kogila, assignment. How will I know which one? You must put the date and they say the first attempt. Then the second one, in title, you put second attempt, put in bold. So I can see. Because if not,
Okay.
how am I to know? Of course, you must
Okay, Prof.
identify clearly lah.
Okay, Prof. Thank you. Noted
The same for
that.
all of you. I'm telling you, all of you, you just simply submit. I don't care. Click on the one I'm marking. You must put on the heading itself. This let's say in the title of the paper itself, you put first attempt. It's up to you lah. Actually, there's no such thing as a first attempt lah. But if you are submitting, you submit already, then you realize, oh, I want to change something. Then put there's a second submission. Put the date there. Then you submit, and then in the first cover of your paper also put second submission to be clear lah. So that don't forget we are marking 200 papers, and then we got other classes. So just like the attendance also the same thing. Okay, but please guys, don't worry about the attendance. Attendance, I mean, you should highlight to me, don't worry, because even if you put as absent, because I can't change that. But going forward, then I will change it for you. And the only reason they will stop you from taking the final paper is when they don't pay the fees. Fees you must pay. Attendance, if you attend once, also never mind.
Hi, Prof. I have one
Yes.
question.
Only one now. Okay, can.
For the recommendations, right? You said it's just for the assignment part 3, right? But if let's say that we have already given our conclusion on our part 1, part 2 analysis, and because part 3 is kind of like connected to this first assignment, can we just put a small recommendation just to let the whole 2 assignments flow together?
No. Don't let
No
it
at
flow
all.
so smoothly.
Okay.
No. What you want, when I say a conclusion, I'm talking about a conclusion to the external analysis and the internal analysis.
Mm-hmm.
Conclusion is to your external analysis and the internal analysis. Part 1 was external, part 2 was internal. The conclusion relates to that part, not the whole paper conclusion. Then under your recommendation will be your recommendation, and that conclusion will be for the whole thing. Yes.
Okay, understood. So that's why you have to separate both the two. Okay.
And also, Zuleika, if you remember the first class, the reason, and all of you also, just to remind you all, this is actually one assignment, but I break it up because I know that you don't have many weeks. It's broken up so that it's easier for you. If I give you this one assignment, then I give you another one, you have to do your research all over again. Whereas this one is the same one applying across different areas, just an internal, external, and recommendation. But actually, it's one assignment. So Zuleika is correct. It would seem like both are the same, but they're not, because we've broken it up. So now, when you do a conclusion for the first part, it should be concluding on external and internal analysis only. Then for the conclusion part and the recommendation, that's where you conclude for everything and you give all the recommendation. Okay.
Okay. And you can also put conclusion for part 1 on itself, and then conclusion for part 2 on itself.
Can also,
All right.
can
Okay.
also, for sure.
Okay. Thank
Good question.
you.
Yeah, you're most welcome.